Use retention policies to manage the collection and storage of your InterMapper server data. Here's how. Even a modest network, monitoring 150 devices and with no charts or special probes, can generate as much as 100 megabytes of data per day. Use retention policies to specify how long you want to retain data and at what resolution. You may want to store certain data longer than other data. You can create retention policies that specify how long you want to retain data in each of these categories. Original data is the entire set of raw data values collected by the InterMapper server. Sub-hourly samples are statistically computed over 5, 10, 15, or 30-minute sets of raw data. They are computed and updated as the data comes in and include minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation values for each data set. Hourly and daily samples are the same statistics but computed for each hour and each day's worth of data for each data set. As data comes in, statistics for each category are computed and updated, allowing you to see up-to-date statistics at any time. 3 retention policies are available by default and are not editable. 24 hours keeps raw data, sub-hourly, and daily data for 1 day. Forever keeps all data forever. When the None policy is chosen, no data is sent from InterMapper for the selected map, device, or interface. By default, the 24-hour policy is selected. You probably want to create at least one retention policy that retains data for longer than 24 hours. Start by creating a retention policy you want to apply to all maps by default. If you have certain devices or maps for which you want to retain more or less data, create additional policies. I'm going to create 3 policies. By default, I want original data retained for 24 hours, 30-minute data for 2 months, hourly for 6 months, and daily data for 5 years. This allows me to create relatively detailed reports for up to 6 months and reports with daily information for up to 5 years. Remember, daily samples for a dataset take only 365 records per year. I'll also create a policy to use with my critical servers map. I'll make this one retain more data for a shorter period. Original data for 24 hours, 5-minute data for 2 weeks, hourly data for 2 months, and daily data for 2 years. This allows me to create detailed weekly reports and to be able to see trends over a 2-year period. And finally, I'll create a policy to use with the SLA probe on my main Cisco switch to monitor ping and packet loss. I'll collect original data for 24 hours, 5-minute data for 2 months, hourly data for 6 months, and daily data for 1 year. This allows me to review detailed spikes in ping or packet loss over a 2-month period and to spot monthly trends. Be sure to click Save Policies after making changes on the Retention Policies page. An additional editable retention policy is created at installation called IM46 Charts. Edit this policy to specify retention for charts created in versions prior to 5.0. By default, this earlier data is saved forever, so until you edit the policy, that data is retained. You can apply retention policies to all maps at the server level. You can also apply a particular retention policy to a map or even to an individual device. Set the default retention policy for a server from the Database Server pane of the Server Settings window. As you can see, all of the default policies, as well as the policies we just created, are available. If you don't specify retention policies for a map or device, the server's default retention policy is used. Set the default retention policy for a map from the Map Settings window. I'm setting this maps policy to the medium resolution policy I just created. You can also set the policy for a particular device. With the map editable, choose Set Data Retention from the Monitor menu. The command is also available from the context menu's Set Info submenu. So I'll set this one to the high resolution policy I just created. For all probes, response time, short-term packet loss, and input and output byte rates for visible interfaces are recorded. If you develop your own probes, you can specify which other data gets recorded. For built-in probes, Dartware has chosen datasets that seem sensible to record. Information on what gets recorded in built-in probes and how to specify which data is recorded in custom probes is available in the Developer Guide. That's retention policies in a nutshell. For more information, see the User Guide available from the Help menu.